The day Charles dies, 7 of Camilla's protections vanish. No vote, no warning. The Constitution handles it automatically. The other 18, those transfer to one person, William. Her title, her home, her security, her crown. Everyone exists because Charles is breathing. When he stops, William controls all of it. Diana spent 12 years asking to be protected. They never put it in writing. Charles was asked to sign one document that could shield Camilla. Number 25. He never did. These are the 25 shields. None survive Charles. Number 1. Kate becomes the Queen in the same second. When Charles dies, the title the Queen transfers automatically to Kate, not after a ceremony, not after some proclamation, in a second. This is constitutional law, British historian Nicoletta Gullis told Reader's Digest in March 2025. The minute his father dies, William is king. Kate becomes queen in that same moment, automatic. Camilla spent 30 years becoming queen. She fought public opinion, shaped her image, outlasted a decade of hostile polling. In a single second, the title she built her entire public identity around belongs to someone she has never been close to. The Queen, on every state document, every prayer, every court circular. That phrase will no longer mean her. Diana was stripped of her Royal Highness in 1996, a deliberate, documented act by the palace. Camilla loses her equivalent in a constitutional second. Nobody has to decide anything. Diana was stripped by choice. Camilla gets stripped by time. Number 2. Her Counsellor of State Authority dies with the marriage. Camilla holds Counsellor of State Authority. That is the constitutional power to carry out official functions when the king is unable to. She holds it because she is the king's wife. When Charles dies, that authority ends. William's Counsellor authority transforms into full sovereignty. Hers simply stops. Diana's formal standing ended when the divorce was finalized in 1996. The constitutional framework does not care about the individual. It cares about the role. When the role ends, so does the authority. Number 3. Her throne at the state opening of Parliament. Each year, the King and Queen travel to Westminster and sit on adjacent thrones at the state opening of Parliament. Right now, that means Charles and Camilla. From day 1 of William's reign, that means William and Kate. Camilla's throne becomes Kate's throne, automatically. Diana attended the state opening beside Charles. She sat where Camilla now sits. The crown passed to Camilla. Now it passes again. The chair is always borrowed. Diana's supporters understood that from the beginning. Number 4. Her Royal Warrant Co-Grantor Authority. Camilla co-holds Royal Warrant Authority alongside Charles. That is the power to bestow the Crown's commercial endorsements on British businesses. When Charles's reign ends, his warrant authority ends. Hers ends with it. William and Kate already have separate warrant authority confirmed for spring 2026, according to reports in Hello Magazine and Marie Claire. Diana never held warrant authority. The palace controlled what institutional power she could access. Camilla had it. It ends without anyone having to take it away. Number 5. Her position as First Lady of Britain. At every state banquet, every diplomatic occasion, the introduction right now is the King and the Queen. When William is king, those words mean different people. Kate gets introduced first to every foreign dignitary, every ambassador, every head of state. Camilla ends up somewhere down the seating plan. Diana hosted those banquets. She was removed from them through the divorce. Camilla inherited that role. Now it transfers again. The table stays the same. The faces change. Number 6, her order of precedence position drops immediately. Right now, Camilla is the second-ranked person in the British monarchy, behind only Charles. Every room she walks into, she walks in first after the king. When William becomes king, Kate takes that position. Camilla drops below Kate, below any future daughters-in-law, below princesses decades her junior. Diana lost her precedence when she lost her Royal Highness. She had to curtsy to women who had curtsied to her. The system humiliated her through protocol. That same protocol now applies to Camilla. Number 7. Her trooping the color balcony position. For 3 years, Camilla has stood beside Charles on the balcony. The cameras have captured her there. From day one, William stands on the balcony. Kate stands beside him. Camilla is wherever she is invited to stand, if she is invited at all. Diana's last balcony appearances were managed, controlled, and eventually taken from her. The balcony was one of the symbols of what she had lost. Camilla is about to learn what that feels like from the other side. Those 7 protections are the automatic ones. Nobody had to decide anything. The Constitution handled it. The next 5 are different. These are the ones William controls directly: his money, his house, his call. And William has already shown what his priorities are. Number 8, the sovereign grant allocation. The sovereign grant totaled £86.3 million in 2024 to 25, according to the official Royal Household Report published in July 2025. That money funds every aspect of Camilla's official operation: her staff, her office, her travel, her security detail, her wardrobe. Every pound is funded because Charles decided it should be. When William is king, every allocation becomes his decision. The Sovereign Grant Act 2011 confirms the grant is paid to the reigning monarch and allocated at their discretion. There is no legal floor. William has already said publicly that every pound of royal spending must demonstrate purpose and impact. His reign will apply that standard to every line of the budget, including hers. Diana had no independent crown income after 1996. The palace controlled her funding entirely. It was one of the ways they managed her. Camilla's funding works the same way. It just flows through different hands now. Number 9, Clarence House, Crown property. Clarence House has been Camilla's home since 2003, over 20 years. She and Charles chose to stay there after he became king rather than move to Buckingham Palace. But Clarence House belongs to the Crown. It passes with the sovereignty. Royal Central confirmed in 2025 that her place of residence may also shift depending on arrangements made by the new king. William has declared Adelaide Cottage his family home. He's building his court away from any palace Camilla has occupied. He has no stated plan for Clarence House once he is king. When Diana divorced, the question of where she would live was part of the settlement. She lost Kensington Palace and ended up in apartments within it. The palace controlled her residence until she died. Camilla is about to learn that residence is always conditional on the institution's grace. Number 10, her security level. The level of security any royal receives is reviewed when their role changes. William has already established the standard. His support for Andrew's security removal was reported as immediate and in writing. When the role changes, the review follows. Diana was denied enhanced security after her divorce, a decision that contributed to the circumstances of her death. The question of whose protection matters most is always a political decision. It is now William's political decision to make. Number 11, her household staff numbers. When Queen Elizabeth II died in 2022, Clarence House announced that some redundancies will be unavoidable. That framework applies to every new reign. Camilla's household, her private secretary, her office staff, her senior advisors will all be reviewed. The new king controls the review. Diana's household was progressively reduced after her divorce. Fewer staff, smaller offices, less institutional support. The palace managed her through her household. Camilla's household will be managed the same way. Number 12, her royal warrant authority as independent grantor. Will William create new warrant authority for her as Queen Dowager? Queen Elizabeth. The Queen Mother held separate warrant granting authority. That authority was created for her. William would need to create it for Camilla. He has not been reported to be planning to. Diana was never given warrant authority. Another piece of institutional standing deliberately withheld. Camilla had it as Charles's co-grantor. Now she needs it created independently. William's priorities suggest a slimmed monarchy, not an expanded one. That is 12 protections gone or transferred. 7 happened automatically. 5 more are now under William's direct control. The next 13 require William to make a choice. And some of those choices, according to palace sources, have already been made. Number 13, the Fergie access. Sarah Ferguson, Camilla's close friend of decades, was reportedly barred from William's orbit in February 2026. Palace sources told Radar Online, In Touch Weekly, and IBT Times UK that William made his position clear. No ambiguity, no half measures. Camilla's access to the friendship that sustained her through the most isolated years of the royal experience has reportedly ended. Sarah Ferguson was not just a friend, she was a connection to the world that existed before Camilla became fully absorbed into the palace machine. That connection is reportedly gone. Diana was isolated from her closest friends through the palace apparatus. Her support network was systematically narrowed until she was largely alone. The isolation was how the palace managed difficult figures. Camilla is now the difficult figure. Number 14. Her access to succession briefings. Palace sources across 2025 reported that Charles held private briefings with William about the succession, constitutional mechanics, government relations, the transition of power. The briefings that defined her future happened, reportedly, without her. Diana was managed through exclusion, not invited to meetings where her own future was being decided, not informed of decisions until they were already final. Camilla is reportedly experiencing the same thing. In rooms she cannot enter, about a future she cannot shape. Number 15. Her working royal status. William, as king, will define what working royal means in his reign. He has already shown with Harry, with Meghan, with Andrew, that he is willing to reduce that definition. Without working royal status, Camilla has no institutional platform. Diana was effectively stripped of working royal status after her divorce. She rebuilt a public life outside the palace. Camilla, at 77 or older, would not have the same options. She does not have Diana's youth, Diana's global appeal, or Diana's ability to command a room on her own. Number 16. The Royal Collection Tiaras. Every tiara Camilla has worn as queen belongs to the Royal Collection, held in trust for the sovereign. The Greville Emerald Kokoshnik, the Burmese Ruby Tiara, the George VI Sapphire Tiara, worth collectively tens of millions of pounds. All of it returns to William's vault on day one. He decides who wears them next. She does not own a single piece. The Cubit Shan tiara from her first marriage, the only one she owned personally, she has already given to her daughter Laura. Every crown she wore as queen was borrowed from the family that Diana was part of. On day one, they go back. Diana wore those tiaras. Diana should have worn them for decades longer. Instead, she was pushed out, and Camilla stepped in. Now William decides who wears them next. We all know who that is. Kate carries Diana's sapphire engagement ring every single day. The ring Diana chose. The ring Charles gave her. The ring that now belongs to the woman William chose to be his queen. Number 17. Her personal staff funded through sovereign grant. Camilla's personal team, including her hairdresser Jo Hansford, who received a royal warrant from Charles, is funded through the sovereign grant. William reviews every allocation. Every line of her personal support budget exists because Charles decided it did. Diana's personal expenses were managed by palace accountants after her divorce. Controlled in detail, monitored, subject to approval, Camilla will face the same system under a different king. Number 18. Her patronages. Camilla supports over 100 charities as patron or president, according to the royal family website. When William is king, his priorities shape which patronages get institutional elevation. He has earthshot homewards. His priorities will define whose charity work the palace promotes. Diana's patronages were some of the most powerful charitable forces in the world. That power came from the institutional weight she brought. When the palace withdrew its support, her influence was reduced. Number 19. Her invitations to official royal events. When William is king, his household decides who is invited to which official events. State banquets, Trooping the Colour, the Order of the Garter, Christmas at Sandringham. Her presence at every event becomes a choice someone makes, not a given. Diana was progressively excluded from events she had previously been central to, managed through the guest list, through invitations sent or deliberately withheld. Number 20, Highgrove access. Highgrove, Charles's beloved country estate, the house whose garden he designed himself, the house where he and Camilla have spent their weekends, belongs to the Duchy of Cornwall. When Charles became king in 2022, the duchy transferred to William. Highgrove is William's estate. He has let Charles continue there. When Charles is gone, Camilla's access is William's decision. For decades, Highgrove has been part of Camilla's life. The weekends away from the public eye, the garden walks, the private world Charles built for them both. All of it is on land that William has owned since 2022. Diana was denied access to properties she considered hers after her separation, not through a dramatic act, but through the administrative withdrawal of arrangements. The property never changed. The arrangements did. Number 21, her royal cipher usage. When William is king, his cipher replaces Charles's automatically. The cipher that appeared alongside Charles's for Camilla's official functions disappears with it. The symbol of her authority changes automatically. Diana's HRH and its associated symbology were removed in 1996, a deliberate, humiliating administrative act. Camilla's cipher does not require a decision. It just ends. The palace does not even have to try. Number 22. Her Majesty style. As Queen Dowager, Camilla technically retains the style Her Majesty, but Her Majesty the Queen now means Kate. She is still a Majesty. She is just not the Queen anymore. In public life, that distinction is everything. Diana became Diana, Princess of Wales, after the divorce. No longer the Princess of Wales, a technical distinction that changed how the entire world saw her. Number 23. Her place in the official royal family photo. When William is king, his household controls the official portrait. Right now, Camilla is in the center. She will be wherever they decide she stands, if she is included at all. Diana's removal from official photographs was documented and managed. She watched herself disappear from the official record. Camilla will watch the same process unfold from the other side. Number 24. Her diplomatic role. As Queen Dowager, she has no independent diplomatic mandate. William assigns who represents the crown. He already demonstrated this at COP 30 in November 2025 in Belém, Brazil. He went himself, not Camilla. Diana built her own international platform after the separation. The landmine campaign, the AIDS work. She had to build it outside the palace. Camilla does not have Diana's ability to build something outside. At 77, the window is smaller, and unlike Diana, she has no public waiting to embrace her. Number 25, the written protection Charles was asked to give and never did. This one is different. It is not a throne or a house or a budget line or a diplomatic role. It is a piece of paper. Letters patent or equivalent that would have established clear guidance on Camilla's residence, title, role, and status after Charles dies. A document that would have bound William's discretion, at least in spirit. Charles reportedly asked William to protect her. William reportedly agreed. The document does not exist. Every item on this list would look different if that document existed. It would give her lawyers something to reference. It would give journalists something to cite. It would give William a reason to act with restraint, even when no one is watching. It still does not exist. Diana asked to be protected too. She made recordings, wrote letters, tried to create a record. None of it was enough. When Charles became king and Camilla became queen, he did not give her the formal protection Diana's supporters believed Diana had been denied. He gave her goodwill instead. He readily agreed. Goodwill, no paper. 25 protections, 7 end automatically when Charles dies, 18 transfer to William's control, and the 25th, the formal written protection Charles was reportedly asked to give, was never done. What they prove is not that William is planning something specific. They prove that Camilla's entire position was always built on Charles's authority, and the one act that would have survived his death, the one piece of paper that would have changed everything, was never done. Charles is still alive. The window is still open. The piece of paper that would have changed everything is still not written. Diana's supporters have been waiting for justice for 27 years. They may not have to wait much longer. If you want to know the 20 powers William already handed himself while Charles was still alive, That video is right here, and Power 20 is the pen, the one Diana's son uses any way he chooses.